Dr. Roy Cordado, Senior Economist Emeritus with the John Locke Foundation in Raleigh, North Carolina, says he doesn't agree with the talk of an economic recovery from the pandemic. He says the talk isn't fully truthful, and you can see it in his neck of the woods.
Drive through downtown Raleigh and tell me this isn't being really harmful. Look at all the boarded up restaurants. Tell those people that, yeah, the economy's doing just fine and we're all coming back. Certain sectors have just gotten hammered really badly. And the fact is it's showing up in unemployment rates. We had a 3.2% unemployment rate a year ago, February. We have a 6.5% unemployment rate now. Well, sure, it was up, last April and May, but it's still double almost what it was a year ago, February. And those are real people. And a lot of people have dropped out of the labor force. That labor force participation rate number is something that worries me.
In a recent post on the American Enterprise Institute webpage, James Pethokoukis, a well-known economic policy analyst, writes, "What sort of shape is the American economy in after a year of the pandemic? Maybe better than you might guess. Even better than many economists might have guessed." He adds, "Now, this sure seems like good news, especially if you're betting on strong economic growth over the next year or two, and there's no mystery why the amount of, quote, scarring may have been less than expected." Cordato read the article. We asked if he agreed with Pethokoukis.
Actually, no. I mean, I think he misses some things. And the way I gather it is that he thinks the pandemic hasn't hurt the economy all that much. And not only that, but he just thinks it's going to continue to get better. I think I sort of disagree. I went back and looked, and I noticed he didn't cite, I don't think, any unemployment statistics in there, which is interesting. I went back and looked at unemployment. And while we're not at what we were in April, we're twice what we were in February of a year ago. So the labor force participation rate is down by 2 full percentage points, and actually has kind of been declining since September. So I don't see the rosy picture. Plus, I think he misses the Fed. I think most of what we are seeing in terms of, reopening is helping a lot, but that's to be expected. You've forced businesses to close, and you tell them they can reopen. Well, it's going to help things. But I think so much of what we're seeing is the result of lots of funny money in the economy, all the Fed pumping of money into the economy, which is not real. I mean, you can't say, well, yeah, that's doing great stuff. No, but it's real. It's built on a foundation of sand. It's not real production. It's not built on real production. It's built on simply people having more money in their pocket and not really producing more.
Cordato is not a fan of the Biden administration's American Rescue Plan, and a lot of that money will go toward Biden's political allies.
Because the problem isn't that there's not enough money in the economy, right? And the $2 trillion spending, what makes it even worse is that's all money, mostly that's going to come from the Federal Reserve, okay? Ultimately, it's going to be brand new money pumped into the economy. You can't do that without diluting purchasing power. In other words, it coming home to roost in the form of inflation at some point down the road, but also without causing all kinds of distortions in the economy. You have people spending money not on the basics of supply and demand, but on where the new money is going in the economy. So, if that new money ends up in all the pet projects, there will be boomlets in these pet projects of the administration that are bubbles. I mean, that's what bubbles are all about. Bubbles are about false investments, and they've always been the result of new money being channeled into particular areas of the economy, whether it's been real estate, or .com or whatever the case may be. And maybe right now we are seeing an economy-wide bubble, which I think is most likely based on all this new money coming out of the Fed, chasing all this new spending.
Cordato believes Biden simply does not understand how the private sector works to generate money for the economy.
He's never had to meet a payroll in his entire life. I'm not even sure he's ever had a private sector job in his entire life. So he believes that money just appears to spend. I mean, it's not something he had to go out and earn. Now, and right now, he's probably right. It doesn't appear to you or the typical businessman, but it does appear to him, right? It appears in the form of borrowing and ultimately printing of money. So it does magically appear in that sense, and that's his kind of view of things. It's endless, and I would say it's the view of many politicians who just spend and don't think of any consequences and don't really understand them. I don't think they've studied any economics in their life. If they have, it's bad economics, wrong economics.
We asked Cordato if America's jobs picture and overall economy will ever be what it was in better times.
Ever is a big term, but I think we're not going to see it in the near future. I think the tax cuts that we had under Trump were very important, and especially the regulation cuts in environmental area, in labor area, lots of areas, which really helped get the economy going, made investment more profitable. And right now, Joe Biden is reversing all of that, especially in the regulatory area. It's reckless abandon.
Frank McCaffrey reporting for Americans for Limited Government Foundation.